Now then, welcome back to another episode on the FTOG server playing some more Avant 3. Today I'm waiting right here, just waiting for the world to load in most of the time. Every time I teleport this is taking forever, but it's nice when it's loaded, but as soon as I go away and unload it, loading it back in again takes forever. But I think we might be good now. I might have a few little freezes as it loads in a few peripherals, as it were. But mostly we're okay. It's running fairly smoothly over here. Not too bad. I knew that this was going to happen. As soon as I started concentrating my efforts in places like this, I knew it was going to happen. But this... yeah, we're smooth again. Yeah, we're running smooth again. Okay. Yeah, this is the displays that I set up in the last episode, and I've just moved them around a little bit. So I've now got the power levels and fluid levels over here. Power level and fluid levels on the side here, so I can keep track of things like that. That's one thing I'm planning on doing, right? And keeping that kind of console design. I've been messing around with chisel and bits, as you can see. Started changing around and making something out of it. Got a rough idea of what I want to do and where I want to put them, so I've put some rough outline areas around here. And I've changed the main screen to, instead of being two screens, I'm now just going to have one screen. And I might use some other screens from extra utilities to add some extra details around the outside there. Just to see, and we might have some kind of control cockpit type piloting device, I don't know yet. With a joystick and everything. I don't know, something like that. But this is smooth. This is looking good. I actually now changed this around so that we have a percentage bar instead of an amount of RF that's there. So this is resource miner running at 100% efficiency. Okay. This is resource miner running out of power, so therefore its efficiency is running down. And I kind of like that. It makes more sense. On its way. So the ore miner is on 0% efficiency. It's basically not on. That's what it's telling me. It just makes more sense to look at visually to make it a thing. And I've done all these little designs for these little bits of chisel and bits in here. This one I just kind of started with this. What I've been doing is I've been taking the blocks. Let me fly. I've been taking the blocks that I want to use and placing them down up here, and then chiseling bits off that I need and putting the bits back when I don't need them anymore. Just for those little details, like this little circle in the center here is the central circle on that main console there. The slightly changing color bit is one of these corners. I think it's one of these corners, yeah, one of these corners. So it's fluctuating like this slightly, as you can see. Yeah, so it looks like it's got that animation, which would look good on a console. And I'm just finding blocks that I think I want to use for something, and then putting them here and doing stuff with them. But overall, I like the sleekness of the black and white and the screens and the little extra bits of detail, adding the colour. I like it. I've got to develop it out, and I've got plenty of spare screens that I've got no particular use for right now. And that brings me to today's episode. I'm not going to be doing any more of the chiseling of stuff until I've got a reason for a screen. And also I need some other things just to decorate. I need some decoration stuff. But I'm not going to do any more chiseling bits this episode. That's it. As you can see, I also set up a console for this side and set up a console setup for the inventory, the crafting side. So I'll do some more chiseling bits and I'll show you what I've done. But I'm not doing it right now. Not doing it right now, I tell you. So, what are we going to do today? Well, I've been over to the warehouse just recently. That's one of the reasons why I was waiting for the world to load up. Just grabbing a load of old bits and pieces that I never brought over when I moved over, that I've got to sort out and shift through into here. And I remember that I was going to do my Tinker's Construct area, the smeltery area. And I need to clear out... I need to clear out my memory. Clear out my memory leak. It's okay at the minute. It's okay. I need to clear out the stuff down here that is currently not getting processed, which was this stuff here. So all of the Tinker's Construct stuff and some of the emerald ores and things, I need to sort them out. So I need them to come from this remote storage ID 14 and go into the Tinker's smeltery area at spawn. And I've noticed that when I was doing this over here, when I was looking through and experimenting, I found that there were some of these with a plus sign, inventory plus module, and that has a dimension showing on it. That one particularly says dimension 1, whereas the other inventory panels or inventory ones don't have the plus. They are in the same dimension. So I guess that plus means that I can monitor a storage unit on a different dimension. So therefore at the warehouse, I figured. Where at the warehouse, yeah? Cool. One other thing, I wanted to show you this flat coloured blocks. Now, Non-Sanity has gone into a lot more detail about flat coloured blocks, so go and check him out. Links in the description down below. I made the black blocks from using this coloured block crafter. It's cobble and ink makes the black blocks, and they are these blocks that I've been using here for the backing and for the extra detail, chisel and bits in details, and they are awesome. There's pretty much no texture to them. They are just flat colour, no texture, which is why they're called flat coloured blocks. And I really do like, especially when we're using them with chisel and bits, because there is no element of surprise. If you want to put a black block or a white block or a green block or a red block in a certain place, it's not going to have some random shading going on for the texturing. It's not going to do that. So I like that. But go and see Non-Sanity's episodes to find out more about the mod itself and how it works. I'm just going to be making blocks the right colour to do some chisel and bits in later. But again, we've been talking for 5-6 minutes now, and I've only been going on about chisel and bits, really. These bits of pagoda that I picked up from a village a little while ago, I've just started putting it into this sort of aspect. Just trying to make this look a little bit more hydroponics lab. And I didn't want to just put a plain flat roof on. So I've kind of got with this idea. And I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to look right. I'm running out of pieces for a start. That's not a great thing, is it? Running out of bits. But I'm just experimenting a little bit with what it could look like. And it does give that element of a scientific hydroponics, doesn't it, really? It gives the element because it's got those slats, like air slats, moisture vapor can go out and all that kind of stuff. I'm just seeing now if it really does fit against the outside of this lot, because I chiseled all these out. Still talking about chisel and bits here. Chiseled all these out to make those posts holding things up to make it look very similar, and I think this does lend it to it. But what I think I need is some kind of block on top of it. Some kind of block above that can sit on top. It makes for kind of a cool flooring as well, really. Makes for kind of a good, cool flooring. I might have to use it in something else sometime. Like a garden setting, and have it as the pathway in the garden, because it looks quite cool. Even though I could probably make it out of chisel and bits. Yes. But no more chisel and bits talk. No more chisel and bits talk. I'm also thinking of just doing like the inner edge, like inside, so that the beam runs across here like this. So I'll take all of these ones out, if I can get back up again. Take all of these ones out and stick that as a, I don't know, a full block of some kind or a half slab of some kind, something that looks like it's holding the thing up. And set that up like that, just so we've got a run of this going through, and that might also then alleviate this and make this come out one more, just because that might look better. And it also means I don't have to go hunting around for villages to go and get some more of these blocks, because, well, I didn't want to bother crafting them. I just wanted to use what I'd picked up while I was out. I don't particularly want them for anything other than this room, and once I've done this room, I'm not going to need any more. So I could make them, I suppose. I think there's a recipe for them, isn't there? So look, recipe. Yeah, sticks and slabs and wood. Yeah, so there's an easy recipe for it. So I can make some more when I need them. Alrighty, and that's how it looks when it's all done. I added in leaf blocks above the pagoda, potato, tomato, whatever you want to call it. The pagoda, I call it a pagoda. You get the little bit of green coming through the ceiling there, which is quite a nice little look for the hydroponics lab. The hydroponics lab is now done. It's done. I tell you, it's done. I added in a little staircase thing up here and added in some leaf blocks behind the storage area here as well. So I can still access the chests, I can still access things and get things done. But down at the front, you can just get a glimpse of the greenery through it. And it just adds that nice little look, just a little hint. When it's not growing, when it's not doing anything in particular, it's going to have that little bit of greenery through here, which I kind of like. I kind of like that a lot. The storage is all set up and looking wonderful, but these sprouts from Agricultural Evolution, I need to have some way of processing them, because I'm going to grow them in here, but then I want the materials that they produce to be converted into the resources that I need. And I'm thinking about doing that down here. In the underside, in the underbelly, so I can have the items flowing straight down from the various places and going into their own kind of auto crafting area, and then popping out into a storage somewhere, maybe here. I've kind of tried to figure out where the stairs were going to go in these two sections to figure it all out and make it look good. Still got to do the corridor down here, but that's okay. That's fine for now. The one thing I don't like in here is what I've done with this kind of workbench area over here. It seems too plain and blends in with the wall too much. So I may have to do some work on that wall. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's only a one thick wall. So if I'm going to chisel bits it, I'll chisel bits it out to make kind of an alcove, and then put in some features inside the alcove to make it look cool. That's the plan anyway. And I moved my scales over here. That's all I can call it. Is it looks like a measuring device. It looks like scales to weigh things accurately, digital scale type thing. That's what it looks like to me. So that's what I'm going to keep it as. And it's got to go with this sheet press from Agricultural Revolution, along with all the stuff that I've got of Agricultural Revolution still in there. But I don't like the look of it right now, so I may do a little bit more chisel work around the back end of that, just to try and make it look a little bit different. But it's still the same concept as the consoles in the bridge over there. So overall, I'm pleased with this area. Still needs a little bit more work, but it's okay in general. And I really do like this little picker arm. The picker arm just looks so cool. I think I'm going to make some more just to use for decoration. I'll probably have to make another couple of Happy Harvest bots to make it actually rotate and do things. But I think it's really cool, the block itself and what it looks like. But anyway, next thing to sort out is over in the Tinker's area. So I'll meet you over there and save the gory loading in of dimensions. So back over at the smeltery in the warehouse. I've reset the smeltery blocks. I've made a load more grout and I've put a load more smeltery blocks in to make smelters. And we've got 3 smelters of full size down here. The first one being that cobblestone gen that we did a while back when we were working over in the warehouse, generating the cobblestone. Cobblestone then goes into the smelter and makes this seared stone blocks. And then we store them in here. I've currently got 32 stacks. It's backed up. It's filled up. And now it's just filling the smeltery itself with seared stone. So it'll make some more as and when I need it. I was originally going to use this seared stone for building the spaceship. And that didn't work out in the end because we removed Tinker's Construct at that time. So I had to come up with a new building material for the spaceship. And this was not available. So I did some other stuff instead. I went with the white and the purple instead, the purple blocks and the alabaster, because we still had those. And now this this is going to be used for maybe the fuselage of the ship, like the great big back end of it. Maybe I'll use that and some basalt and just mix it and mix and match a little bit to add those colours in for the back of the spaceship. So I've still got that production done, and that's good. I've got that created there. The next two, I've set these up so I can process all of the stuff that comes from the processing in, the ore miners and stuff. As you can see, I've still got emerald ore to deal with, and I was looking at what to do with emeralds. But this is a very simple, it pulls out from there and goes into the smeltery, but it only allows ardite ore to go into the smeltery. Technically that doesn't need to be in place at all, and nor does this side because they're not being used for anything. But one puts ardite ore in, cobalt ore in, and one puts ardite ore in from that processing system, which then of course goes into the smeltery, gets smelted down and made into ingot form in here. And lava wise, we've got lava coming into the system here, into the smeltery from these 3 tanks. I can do some other bits and pieces like an ender tank and maybe a lava producing site at some point to fill these without it needing to be manual. But for right now, I've just been digging out this under area where I've got all this lava hanging out anyway, and slowly but surely putting all the lava to good use through moving these tanks manually by hand. The piping or the conduits go all the way underneath and go to each of the smelters from the underside with a conduit facade hiding the pipe, just to keep the smelters always full. This one is always full as well. But it does have this kind of lighting effect where you've got the lava flowing through the pipes underneath the half slab, which is kind of odd looking. But you hardly notice. It's hardly noticeable. And in the ceiling, I've put some painted glowstone, painted basalt-wise, so that it's going to add light to the area without me needing lights as such. And I've got a little bit of a thing over here. There's one in that place there. Why have I got a bone all of a sudden? Where did I pick a bone up from? Some skelly died somewhere and just gave me a bone from somewhere. Awesome. Yeah, so I've got those in, so I don't even need the torches lying in the place. I can start replacing those with glowstone painted as basalt. I kind of feel like I need another colour in here as well, because it's very black, it's very dark, and the smeltery blocks themselves do not really add that much detail. But it's looking okay, it's looking okay. And most of that is all set up. This little smelter here is for Tinker's Tools, so I can put in the materials I want to make a Tinker's Tool out of, pour them there, and then use them in all the crafting stuff. I don't know if I'll actually use Tinker's Tools again. We had a cool Tinker's Tool at the start. It's a very early game, cool mod. Without the levelling up of tools, it doesn't really get much better than the start. If I create a cobalt or manulium tool using this setup, then it's going to be for the 3x3 cutting out of areas. But I've kind of got the quarrying to do that kind of stuff as well. I've got the builder's block from RF Tools now, so I don't really need to have a tool that cuts away that much area. But still, we'll do that sometime, maybe again in the future. I don't know if I'll show it if I do it. Hi, big man. How you doing? Get back in the nether, would you? Get back in the nether. No? You want to go on the elevator. Stop it. Get off. Do you want me to kill you? Fine, I'll kill you. Come on. Oh, look. You don't know where I am because I've got a charm on. And you don't know how to do that, do you? Ha! You don't know how to deal with a charm. So yeah, we've got this set up now down here. But the one thing that I wanted to encourage myself with was this Inventory Plus module. Now, the Inventory Plus module, currently monitoring these 2x2 frames here, shift right click on this. It sets the inventory module to that storage location, but it should take it to the other dimension. So when I go back to the spaceship and test this out, it should read what's inside this location. So I'm going to head back there now and test it out. Okay, let's find out if it works. It should be good. I mean, the processing side's here, so I think I'm going to use this console for it. I'm going to use this text module, which I'm setting to Tinker's Ingots, and this Inventory Plus module, which should access these slots. Now, there are 4 slots in it. So if I went with a 0, a 1, I would end up with all 4 slots from that particular storage drawer. Which is okay in theory if I've got 4 items in the storage drawer. But one thing that bugs me is the little overlap that you get over here. Because it lines it all up in a certain way. It kind of needs tabbing out. So what I do is I put a location that it hasn't got there, so it'll do a blank, and then do 0, 2, 3, and that will give me just those particular ingots that I'm using up. And of course the menulium I create myself from cobalt and ardite. I make menulium, so it's not going to increase, but these 2 figures will increase as the ore processing happens. So it's just another storage area, really. It's just another monitor for the storing of things, in the same way as this shows me how much ingots I've got in the 5 times ore processing. I've got this showing my Tinker's ingots from that side of things, and this is void miner still showing me that I've got the emerald stuff missing. Now, I've been thinking about what to do with my emeralds, and that's why I've got this opened up and having a look. Emeralds can be created. Well, they're showing all sorts of things in here. But to get the best results, right? One of the simplest things is a squeezer from Integrated Dynamics. It squeezes the emerald ore and produces 2 emeralds. It's one of the better of them because a sag mill produces 1 with a 25% chance of a second. An alloy smelter produces 1. A crusher produces 1 with a 20% chance of producing a second. A furnace produces 1. A crusher from the other thing, what's it called? The immersive engineering crusher produces 2 directly as well. Now that's an overblown crafting system in comparison to the very simple squeezer. But the squeezer, even though that's the most practical because it's 1 block and it does the job, the immersive engineering crusher will probably look better because, well, it looks more fancy, doesn't it? So I like the look of that. So what I'm thinking of doing, and it's not going to be this episode because we're going to be running out of time for this episode, but what I'm thinking of doing is placing it in here somewhere. So having this section here set up for an immersive engineering crusher to crush emeralds down. Literally just to crush emerald ore. But it may be that that crusher's good at crushing other things down that this enriching factory is not. So we'll have emeralds up here as another location on the system that I can draw upon, my storage system. Have emeralds up here, but have the emeralds being processed just here in an immersive engineering crusher. I think that's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to look cool and do all that side of stuff. And I haven't done much immersive engineering, but immersive engineering looks good. So it should make a big difference overall to what we're producing here to look good in the place. But that is all I'm going to do for today's episode. It was a kind of a little catch-up. I've been working hard to finish off some projects and get a few bits and pieces done that we hadn't already finished from previous episodes. Just the finishing touches, just to get going. And I plan on making some headway into immersive engineering next, just to get the blocks that look cool. I've already got my ore processing sorted by mechanism. That's probably the best way to process ores for the maximum possible ingots. But there are other things as well that I would like to get done, and may as well play around with immersive engineering because I haven't really played with it. It looks cool, and we're going to work on some more cool things to decorate the ship a bit more than the practicalities of making everything process on the ship. But that is for another episode, so thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you leave a like and a comment down below. I will see you in the next Avant 3 on the FTOG server. Goodbye.